Boom. Hello everybody, and welcome back. This is What's This Podcast. Or is it What's That Podcast?
No, it's What's This. You need to get this right. Yeah, you need to get that right.
I can't get it right. We hope you're enjoying the show so far. This is show number 5, I believe, or 6?
Or 7. It's one of the shows.
It's one of them. And this is about nothing particular, really. We just fancied getting together and doing another podcast because we've been enjoying them. So this one, we're just going to go over a few sort of news items that we've come across this week, a few sort of incidental comments, just a general chit chat, really, with a gin and tonic. We're calling it gin and tonic chat. A bit like Alan's Deep Bath, if you remember Alan Partridge.
Jim doesn't like gin, so
I do not like gin.
No. Jim, are you having a drink there, Jim?
I am. I've
Show
got
us
a
what you're
nice
drinking
whiskey there. Look.
Oh yeah, very good, very nice. Ethan's drinking a what are you drinking there, Ethan?
gin and tonic.
What kind of gin is that?
Blood orange, I think.
Correct.
Yes.
What are you drinking, John?
Just normal gin. Well, I've gotten the missus to bring me a tonic water because
okay.
I've just drank that one, so I'm gonna have another one.
Fair play. Fair play.
So yeah, we wanted to just make this a little bit.
By the way,
incidental.
Ronnie's not here. Just to let you know.
Oh yeah, we forgot about that.
Yeah.
We also haven't
Forgot
done
about the quiet one that's never really talks.
That's because he's the tech man. Honestly, you don't see it. We're like on the you don't see the live stream, but he sits there with a bank of screens in front of him, like he's playing war games.
It's like he's in the Matrix.
I think, to be honest, he does play games on there.
You can't not play games. He's always plugged into a computer somewhere. In fact, it's like he gets charged off the grid. If he isn't plugged into a broadband somewhere, he loses charge.
We haven't done the like and the subscribe and all that rubbish. I'll let you crack on with that.
Go on, Ethan.
Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button if you're enjoying, and so you never miss one of our shows. We are actually getting quite a few likes on our videos, which is quite nice. Well, a fair few likes for us for what we have. You've really distracted me with like your clicking and stuff.
I'm not clicking. He's clicking. I'm not clicking. If we've got these new microphones set up and they're really good, but you have to talk like directly into the microphone, and we're not particularly, especially me and Ethan, because we sit in the same room, we talk at each other rather than into the microphones. So if the sound quality goes a bit up and down, it's because we're getting used to the whole podcasting format of having decent equipment.
We'll do better.
We'll do better. We'll
Also,
try.
I do have
better.
it on the screen here, so I can see when someone's not talking loud enough, and I'll just tell you.
Will
Okay.
you though?
Yeah.
Will you though?
So James, you were talking about something we'd noticed in the. Oh, thank you, Rachel. Rachel's bringing me a tonic water there. Would you grab me the gin out of the cupboard, please, Ray? She's huffing and puffing, and puffing and huffing.
It was just about the Marilyn Manson thing.
Yeah, I didn't know this either. So
Well,
talk to
yeah.
my goose.
I don't know a lot about it. Literally just came across it, and it appears that he is allegedly
A bastard.
he's been accused of domestic violence, abuse, and sexual assault
Oh dear.
by a former, I'm assuming, wife, partner, fiance.
Well, you're quite a heavy metal fan.
Yeah, not. I mean, there's only a couple of bits from Marilyn Manson
Is he,
that I actually like.
what's his music classed as?
Oh, God knows.
Thrash metal,
Could be
heavy metal,
See, there's-
country.
It's definitely country.
Soul.
Yeah, mainly country at the minute.
Ouch.
But no,
Nice.
it's a variation of metal music. I don't know, thrash. I don't know what you'd call it. But yeah,
You a fan, Ethan, of Manson?
Never heard of him.
Never heard of Marilyn Manson?
Not really.
You never seen the doc?
Not
Right,
really
here we
that
go.
type
Because
of
we talked
music.
about on the podcast is challenging Ethan. So Ethan is a young man. He's 19 years old. He has finished school a couple of years ago. He'll be 20. He's 19 years old.
Why have you gone into that voice?
I'm going into podcast mode.
That is
Full
not podcast.
mode.
It looks as though
Nonce
you
mode.
are just about to get down on your microphone. I'll be honest.
I'm just giving you a little bit of background onto Ethan. He's 19 years old. He is a tradesman. He works in the plumbing and water industry.
Plumbing and water.
Some people might say water Lego.
Yeah, he makes water Lego. Exactly
Basically
that.
just does water Lego.
What do you do, Jim?
Nothing. Yes, I am gainfully unemployed and living on my savings. Suck it.
And what did you do before that?
Insurance.
Made sure people were okay when they had a crash.
Make sure that when people like you fuck up, the client actually gets paid out for the flood you caused or house you blew up.
I've never had an accident like that, so do one.
I'm sure you have, haven't you? You flooded someone's house once before.
Oh, there we go.
Not dangerously.
There was no sparks or anything like that.
I didn't kill them.
No ceilings fell through.
Good job we had insurance.
So
I know
Ethan,
people that have had their ceilings fall through though, through work. Not me though. So
it
you know.
happens. Shit
I know
happens.
people that have gone through lofts. I've never done that either. So
That's good.
You're only young though. There's time to fall through a loft yet.
hopefully it won't happen.
Well, then who knows?
So yeah, talk about this weird nonce.
No, I'm just saying that
Not
generally
a nonce. You need to stop throwing that out there. Seriously.
you're going to start upsetting nonces.
Well, no, you just, could get sued.
You could, yeah.
The nonce
By
brigade.
Manson.
By him.
Manson.
You've just called him a nonce.
True.
Okay.
There's no evidence.
he's
Just
gonna
want to put
come
that out there
listen to
that
it.
we don't believe there is any evidence to support the fact that Marilyn Manson has done anything untoward with anyone underaged at any point. Not to say that he hasn't done that.
We just
He
don't know
might
about
well.
it.
We don't know about it.
We haven't
don't
got
have
proof.
on
evidence.
this. These are just allegations.
So they are
that,
allegations,
no.
and that's why I said
And
allegations.
potentially some of them are too young to make any allegations. That could be a possibility. We're just saying that there is no evidence to support that fact.
Okay. Right.
So is that all
so
right?
I think that's covered it.
Is that good?
So what's he been doing? Beating people.
By the sounds of it, yeah, sexually assaulting people. And, yeah, domestic violence. Yeah, pretty much that's what it sounds like.
Oh yeah, this is what I was going to say. You knocked me
A
off.
rape room, apparently.
A what?
A rape room.
I thought you said rape broom.
That would.
Can you imagine that?
I bet there is a rape broom in the rape room.
Can you imagine that on
To
the
clean up the rape room.
Yeah.
on his
If you
floor?
get married in there, you could be a rape broom.
Can you imagine that on the floor plan of his house when he sells it?
Oh, God, can you imagine? If he does his meetings in there, it could be rape Zoom. Sorry. Rape is not a funny subject.
And this is the bathroom. Here's the ensuite. What's through there? That's the walk-in closet, and to the left of there is the rape room.
And just down the room, just down there. No, right. So yeah, not a
So Ethan
not a
doesn't
lot
know
I
who
know
Marilyn
about
Man-
it.
Ethan doesn't know who Marilyn Manson was. And I went off topic earlier when we were talking about Ethan's job, but there is a good documentary by Michael Moore.
Michael Moore,
Who did Fahrenheit 9/11 and all that, called Bowling for Columbine.
great
And it's
documentary.
about the Columbine school shooting, one of the first proper high school shootings. Where the kids went in with pipe bombs and automatic weapons.
And they shot up the school and killed a load of people.
Yes.
teachers.
Like most American schools.
Yeah, but this was
A
one of
lot
the
of
this was
them.
one of the early ones in the 90s.
This was a big deal.
And Marilyn Manson took a massive hit for that. He apparently was blamed. They apparently used to did they listen to his music? I can't remember. I've not watched that for a while.
This is so. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And he was going to be on tour there, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was blamed because because of his type of music, and the kids listened to his music. They said that was the reason that they've gone this mental and done these things. And it's very similar to blaming video games. It's like GTA for carjackings and stuff like that. It's
What do you think about that? Video games, violent video games. You played any violent video games?
Yeah, I mean, I've played
GTA,
GTA and
Call of
stuff like that.
Duty.
And did you ever want to rape a prostitute and stab her and steal her money and drive a car off a cliff?
No.
Yeah. So there we are.
Yeah, so I mean, I think when you blame stuff like that, it's an easy get out by a conservative sort of person wanting not to blame the person, wants to blame the things that influence the person, and I don't think those things do influence people to that extent.
But you, violent things, video games, movies.
No, I've never really had. No.
I mean, they influence
I
people
always play
to
them.
a degree. Everybody, when I was a kid, I used to pretend to be, I don't know, I used to pretend I was in Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, or I suppose playing cowboys and Indians and stuff like that, doctors and nurses. Yeah, you do that sort of stuff, but you don't
I used to
play.
pretend I was a Jedi.
Well, fair play. That if you're going to be anything, be a Jedi.
Jedi's the best
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
Not Spock.
Did you say no?
What do you want to be, Spock or a Jedi?
Excuse me, I pretended to be Danny Glover from Lethal Weapon. Thank you.
I think a Jedi would whoop his ass.
Why Danny Glover?
Because he had the tash.
Oh, okay. I thought you just wandered around going, I'm getting too old for this shit.
Danny Glover was a
And
legend.
you're still in an appy. I'm getting too old for this shit.
But
You didn't like the mullet then? No? Mel
the
Gibson.
Mel Gibson mullet. Yeah, I was always pretending to be Mel Gibson. It was Ronnie that always used to pretend to be, because I was always Mel Gibson because I was the cool one. He was stuck with Danny Glover, unfortunately.
Never mind.
Yeah. So there we are. But no, that is a thing. People, what we tend to find in society is that people go on crusades because of minority issues. Not minority issues. No, that's definitely the wrong word. Fringe problems. So somebody will. Let's look at the tragic case of James Bulger back in the 90s.
Oh, bless him.
And those young lads that Terry Venables and whoever it was that killed that young lad.
Oh, who was it? What was his name?
I can't remember the name of the boys. Yeah, the train track. So
they blamed child's play.
They blamed a lot of some horror films that they were watching. Yeah. So, ban horror films, ban horror films, ban horror films.
Yeah, that happened with like that game Slender.
Slender Man.
Three girls, two of them were like convinced that the Slender was telling them to kill this girl, so they took her in a forest and like stabbed her like 7 times, but she managed to survive.
Yeah.
Same with Manhunt. Manhunt. Would you remember Manhunt? Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
What, we used to run around and just catch people?
No, that's the game at school. That you'd run around in teams. No, Manhunt came out after I'd say probably just after Grand Theft Auto Vice City came out, and it was literally you played the killer in like a horror film type thing. So you literally had to go round killing people in horrendous ways.
Oh, that's a bit like the new game.
Putting plastic bags over their heads, strangling them, stabbing them.
Brought a Friday night.
I thought it was the same thing that Ethan was talking about, to be honest.
Did you? Free pod.
Yeah, exactly.
Kiss chase.
Oh, yeah.
Is kiss chase rape?
No.
What, when you're at school?
Because, well, hang on. So when you
let me describe something to you.
No, hang on. Before you go any further, when you played Kiss Chase, did you not involve the girls? Were they not willing participants?
well. Let me just describe this to you.
Okay.
Run around.
Yeah.
As fast as you can.
Yeah.
Chase down a fleeing female.
Yeah.
Grab said fleeing female.
Yeah.
Try to kiss fleeing female anywhere in the face. Points for lips.
Okay.
Then run away again.
Yeah.
Rape.
No.
When the teachers got involved, that's when it got a bit weird.
Yeah, they shouldn't be allowed to play. Oh, John, we're the same. No, because, I mean, I don't know about you, but Kiss Chase, the girls were always involved and knew what was going on.
I don't know. When we used to play it, we used to
because they
put random girls and just...
Well, that's inappropriate. But
not on the...
Why is he bumming them?
What?
What? In primary school, though, when you're about 5, when did you go to primary school? 4?
When did you go?
Tell me about your sexual experience in primary school, James.
No,
that's a great story.
It's horrifying. It's a strange one. No, yes, no, don't know. Bad things.
My teacher?
No. God, if it's a guessing, and I tell you what, if it's a guessing game, you carry on going.
You had dodgy vicars.
I didn't go to a Catholic school.
You did.
I went to a Catholic school, yeah, but secondary school. So grass on the pitch, it was all fair game.
Oh no! Willing boys, jumpers,
I mean,
goalposts.
You don't become an altar boy, and not
don't say it. Don't say it.
And not know what it's the implication.
It's the implication. They knew what they were signing up for. No, you've seen Sleepers, yeah?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
They weren't asking for that.
No. But watch Bowling for Columbine. Next time we have to do this podcast, I want you to have watched Bowling for Columbine.
That's your challenge.
It's your challenge. Okay. All right.
We'll all rewatch it and we'll discuss it.
You're talking about that Manhunt. I've just googled it.
Yeah.
The game that came out recently in 2016, Friday the 13th, which is literally that.
Literally that. So if you take let's say you take a middle-class, middle-aged mum, and you show her Manhunt or Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
What's the reaction going to be? Horrified. I can't believe games like this are created. What's it doing to our children? Oh my God. Going to think like it is the worst thing in the world.
I think you're making a massive generalisation there because...
Nah. You challenge my mum, she'd freak out.
Yeah, but what would you say middle-aged is?
Well, let's say late 30s onwards.
So your wife is middle-aged?
Yes.
Do you think your wife would freak out?
No, but but of a different generation, I think. Grew up with video games. I'm talking like our parents' generation.
Right, so we're
going
talking
back 15, 20
so
years.
OAP now. Then yes. And that's where I say the conservative sort of feeling.
But even
not
now,
conservative as in political party, but conservative views and outlook.
Yeah, I think even now there would be some. My wife's quite
liberal.
Quite liberal, yeah, and she understands the way of the world. But there would be still some mums out there that in some far-flung villages that are part of the WI, and I'm being very generalising here, I appreciate that, that would see something like that and think it's horrific and
No.
not want their children involved.
Absolutely, completely agree with you. Completely agree with you on that. But they're reactionary. They're looking at it and trying not to blame the small kid that's done something horrific.
Yeah.
And thinking they're not thinking that kid's got some emotional issues or mental issues. They're thinking he must have done it because of this film.
Yeah.
But
and I'm not saying that didn't happen sometimes, but it's like I say, it's those fringe. It's like ban everything because of those fringe reasons.
It's a reactionary thing. And
I hate that.
It's awful. It shouldn't be done like that, because for a sane person with a decent moral compass can watch a horror movie and not want to go out and kill people.
No.
Can play a video game and not go and steal a car.
No.
You know what I mean? So it's nothing to do with that. So sorry, that was my phone.
Is that your phone?
I'm going to put that onto
put that on silent.
Silent. Yeah. So the
thing is, when you have that mentality, of I didn't like that, that looks horrendous. Something happened to somebody I know and love, because you always get these parents that go on these crusades, don't you? And I know that it's tragic, and I'm going to be really sort of like flippant with this, but like a young. Sorry, my dog is quite old, and he's walking around under the table and he's knocking into stuff because he's got a gammy leg and he's just smashing around and stuff. So if you can hear anything clunking about, James, I apologise. It's Blue.
Okay.
But you get these I've forgotten what I was going to say now. You get these sort of these
crusaders.
Sorry, yes. You get these people that go on these crusades. And it's always like their child died because of something tragic like that, like a computer game they think caused something to happen in a schoolyard, which meant one child killed another. And then they go to, we've got to do something. They go to Parliament, and it's Timmy's law. Let's have Timmy's law, or banning video games, or making sure that video games are in some sort of room that's not like adjacent to the normal room where all video games, like the adult room where like porn usually sits.
Yeah,
and I just think it's pathetic.
I'll go slightly different to that. I agree with you that there are people that do that, but a lot of the time it's not the parents of the victims or relatives of the victims that are calling for a ban on whether it be
I don't know. I think a lot of the time
that's normally a groundswelling from not people related to them, but people think that that's the reason that's caused it. So I wouldn't say that Jamie Bulger's mum and dad were going out there and doing that.
I
don't think they tried to ban Child Play 3.
No, I don't think that, true.
But there was a massive calling for it.
The media get behind
it,
and
they made
these
it a
should
story.
be banned. Horrific things should. But the problem is where does that draw the line?
Well, they're trying to not ban, but they're blaming driller music now, aren't they? For like,
you talked to me about this before. Driller music's made. You've made that up.
That's what it's called now. It's like driller.
Talk to me about
drill. It's like just basically.
What's driller?
It's rap.
Drill. I know drill music.
Rap,
I've heard of drill music. I didn't know driller.
That's what you call them, like drillers. I think. I don't really get it.
It's basically a little Chirac thing, isn't it?
Why are they trying to ban it?
No, they're not banning it. They're just saying that's causing a lot more like stabbings and stuff,
violence,
like,
and gun shootings.
Going out with knives.
Yeah.
That is a massive. People going out with knives is a massive socio-economical problem that's been growing and growing.
Sound really good, don't they? At the minute in music.
Who's that? Sorry.
That's what like drill music is like, to make it sound.
They've been doing that since the 80s.
Gangster rap is pretty much
NWA have been doing that, talking about AK-47s and shooting people and stuff, because they were talking about reality. They were talking about their reality, which was life on the streets.
And we're so far removed from that. I mean,
massively.
Just talking about me and you here, John, and obviously Ethan and Ronnie, even though he's not here, but we're so far removed from knives and gang culture and guns.
Yeah.
So is it something that
I don't know, when like we go out and stuff, hear about people getting stabbed in clubs and stuff, especially in Leicester.
Really?
I don't hear anything about it.
Yeah, I know a few people.
Really, I mean, there's the odd thing here and there, but it's not something that I would consider to be. This is going to be a really like middle age sort of thing to say. It's not something that's an issue to me because it doesn't affect me.
No.
Obviously, I know it goes on, and I'd really like it not to.
About that.
But in like places like London and Liverpool and things like that, there's a lot of gang culture, and obviously that there was a TV program made about it with Stephen Graham and Little Boy Blue.
Oh yeah, I never watched that.
Yeah, he was the lad that was shot in that was.
Oh yes, that's about the lad that was shot, the little Everton fan, wasn't it, who got caught up in a gang shooting.
Shooting. But it's so far removed from me. I don't honestly think I can offer anything into that sort of area. I would like very much for there to be no guns and no violence and no knives and stuff like that on the street, but there's nothing I can do about it.
Again, it's a massive socio-economical issue. I don't think it's people want to see it, especially people like us, people that are really far removed from that sort of thing. Again, without being sort of like racist, it's the white middle classes, which I would consider all of us to be.
Working class.
We don't live on council estates. We're not like involved in gangs and things like that. We're quite affluent.
When we grew up.
Yeah, but even then, I don't think it was. Even then, we were on the fringes of, say, like in Leicester, like New Parks and Braunston, like right in the middle of it, in like the bad areas. It's like we weren't. It wasn't. You weren't in poverty. You had everything you wanted. Like your parents did all right. Well, no, but your parents your parents made enough money that you weren't going hungry.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
You didn't have parents that were on drugs or on drink or things like that.
Yeah.
So you weren't necessarily You're in a different.
But I'd say we were working
class.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is
just top tier working class.
Yeah. Well, this is a new thing. There's almost another class. It used to be working class, middle class, upper class. There's almost a bottom class now. Like your working class is almost pushing into middle class. I would say what we would consider working class now would almost be sort of middle class.
Yeah.
Close to. Because I think upper class now, well, I don't know.
Well, working class
I don't know. I don't know enough about it.
Yeah,
it was.
Well, it was the workers,
working hard, really hard.
It was normally
for fuck all.
Either factory, miners, tradespeople were all classed as working class, and then you had your office types and execs and classic middle management as your middle class, and then you've got your CEOs at the top. Yeah,
it's really really hard for people like us to appreciate it. We can watch. I mean, I watch quite a few films and
Blue Story's about knife crime, isn't it, in London?
Yeah,
like Top Boy and stuff like that.
Crime, really.
Blue Story.
Yeah,
I've never watched it. I thought
it's a compelling story. And the guy that wrote it, I can't remember the name of the chap that wrote it. He's a rapper. I can't remember his name. It's not the best film. I watched it and I was quite critical of the film itself. It's quite cheap.
Is that because of the way it was written, or the way
it
it was
quite cheap, things like that. But the story's actually quite good. I think if it got more weight behind it, and if it got more it's going to sound awful, a better director, better production, I think it would have been really good. But the story's not that bad, and it's a story of
man. That's who.
It's a story of the streets. I've seen better like Plan B's, Ill Manners and stuff like that, and Top Boy, Kidulthood and stuff like that.
Kidulthood, Adulthood, yeah.
They're better films, I think. But that Blue Story is quite a good film, and it was blown massively out of proportion with the gun crime. That was with the gang stuff that happened outside of cinemas and stuff. I think it was.
Oh yeah, they blamed that, didn't they? They blamed the film on cinema.
A lot. But again, it's people that are removed.
Oh, that's because there was a shooting in the cinema, wasn't there?
Was it outside? There was like some sort of gang sort of.
I remember
gangs getting it. Was it outside Birmingham? I think it might have been.
I can't remember where it was, but there was a shooting. 2 lads on a moped or something like that shot into the foyer of a cinema.
Yeah,
and I don't know if that was when this was happening.
It was when this film, because they were trying to ban it.
Because loads of cinemas took it off because they were worried it was. And it's just sad, and it's I don't know. It's I was literally talking to Ethan earlier. I watched a documentary with Rach called LA 95 or 92 LA or LA 90. Can't quite remember, but it's about the riots that happened in LA after the Rodney King.
Oh, after he was beaten by the cops.
Yeah. And it's really good. It starts just before then, and it looks at stuff that lit the fire underneath the communities, the poor communities, and it's a great documentary. It's not voiced over or anything. It's literally just all visual with news reports.
Yeah,
really good documentary.
Netflix.
No, I watched it on something else. I think I can't remember what it was.
I'll have a look for it.
But yeah, really good. But it made me ask a question because at the start of the documentary, it shows basically. The difference how people are treated in terms of being black and not being black by the law back then, and it shows you a video of a Korean woman who was working in her shop, and a black woman went in there, a black girl was in there, and she was buying something, and she put it in her bag to get her money out, and the Korean woman thought she was stealing it. Instantly went to grab her, so they had a bit of a set to and a bit of a struggle. So the black girl went to walk out, and the Korean woman just shot her in the head.
Wow.
It's all on video, all on tape, and that Korean woman did probation. She got no time. I mean, she was quite old. She was probably in her 60s, 50s or 60s.
But basically, she got away with murder.
Got away with it. Literally got away with murder in this girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a big uproar. The community were like, "What is going on here?" Then the Rodney King thing comes out. And
hang on, going back to that, when you say there was a bit of pushing and shoving, was the Korean lady ever in danger?
Not for her life. No, not even a little bit.
And the woman was walking out.
She was walking out, or running out. She basically she got shot in the head for stealing orange juice.
In the back.
In the back of the head, yeah.
So she posed no immediate danger, and the woman pulled out a gun and shot her, and she got away with nothing.
Died, yeah.
Wow.
Really bad.
That's America, isn't it?
It was, yeah. And obviously that then led to the Rodney King thing. And if I don't know, you'd be too young to know. Do you know the Rodney King?
No.
I mean, if you wanted to pull a silent video up, you can pull it up now. It's quite disturbing to watch. But basically, about 7 police officers
laid into a bloke,
beat the bejesus out of a guy. They pulled him over for a DUI, and they just lay into him. And a guy happened to see this happen outside of front of his house and started videotaped the whole thing. It's horrendous. Every police officer got let off. It went to court. They moved the court case to the whitest neighbourhood they could find in LA. So all of the jurors were white.
Jurors were white, yeah.
They all got let off with it, and it just caused so much hatred and anger amongst the communities. They started doing protesting. The protesting, obviously, unfortunately, you get sometimes the wrong element in there, but also because people were just so fucking angry, people started kicking off, fighting, and then rioting started. But what I didn't know, because I didn't know about this Korean thing before, that a lot of Korean businesses were targeted because of this, what had happened before. So people were writing black-owned shop on the front of their shop to hope that they weren't. I mean, it didn't happen. A lot of them still got looted and destroyed.
Yeah.
But Korean people were standing outside of their houses on like the third day, outside of their businesses with guns, shooting people that were coming close. They were defending their businesses with.
Wow.
It was. You've got to watch this documentary. It was chaos. And I just posed the question to Rachel. I was like, I find it really odd that if you take that now, let's say it's 30 years later. 25 years later, if you take that now, Korean people are not revered, but in America they are known as really hardworking people.
Yeah.
They're not treated. I mean, I'm not saying they don't get anything racist after them, any racist abuse, but not in the same way as black people do. There's no systemic racism there. They're quite well off in terms of like they have successful businesses, they do well in school, all of those sort of things, and that's coming from a race of people that were at actual war with America in the 1950s.
Yeah.
America were at war with Korea in the 50s. And now you look back from 1950 to now, and it's completely different.
Yeah.
Yet black people are still on the back foot. And I said to Rach, why is that? I wonder why that is. And she said, find out. And she recommended a book that I've been listening to called Native by Akala.
Oh, is that the one that Joe Rogan was talking about a while ago?
I don't know. I don't remember.
I think it is, yeah.
But it's basically called, it's about racism and class structure post the British Empire.
Okay.
I'm about 3 hours left on it because I like listening to audiobooks. I'm about 3 hours left on it. It's like the last couple of chapters. Incredible. Yeah. I encourage anybody who doesn't know anything, especially because it's about Britain. Yeah. It's not about race wars and things in America, but it does look about stuff globally. He goes back into so much black history and class history in Africa, in his home, because he's mixed race. His mum's Scottish and his dad's Jamaican. So it looks at he comes from lots of different angles, and such an intelligent person and so eloquent. It's really nice to listen to. It's like he talks about a lot of his own experiences.
Does he read the book? Is he reading it?
He reads it. Yeah, he does his own book. Yeah, he reads it.
That's
so
good.
I encourage any like Ethan, like people.
You've already challenged him to one thing.
I won't challenge him to that again because I mean it's a 10-hour listen or a read or whatever. But yeah, anybody who would like to educate themselves a little bit on Black history, especially in Britain.
I find it really strange that America only have a month to discuss Black history. I find that so weird to have Black History Month. It should just be history.
It is, and yeah, and it's impossible to even talk about. I'm not very eloquent with stuff like this. I'm a dummy really when it comes to stuff like this. I listen to it and I absorb as much as I can of it, but it's really hard for me to reiterate because I've listened to 7.5
Make
hours so far.
salient points out of what you
Yeah,
said.
I can't dilute them down and go, oh, this because of this and this because of that. But the whole feel of it is just it's genuinely. I mean, I didn't consider myself a racist person. I tried to be as open-minded about things as possible, but I did genuinely, as a white person, have questions. Why is it that black people seem to have chips on their shoulder? Why is it that black culture is like?
I'm going to say because people can't
like
see what you've just done. You did chips on your shoulder with
air quotes. I did the air quotes. Yeah, because
people can't see that. They might have thought you just meant.
Oh yeah. No, sorry. They consider to have chips on there, but it's like and he questions these things out, and then answers them in incredible way. Brilliant. I can't recommend it highly enough. Native, it's called.
I think the systemic racism that has just gone through, not just the police force in America, but all of their government throughout. I mean, they're quite a new country, really, when you look at it. How many generations do they go back? Not many.
No.
We've got so many buildings here that they're older than what you class as New America. So they're quite a young country, and they're a big power, but I think they're slightly. They're like a kid that's been kept behind a couple of years in school, and they're trying to catch up. So obviously we ended slavery way before they did.
Again, it touches on that as well. Stuff I had no idea about. So the reason it was ended, the fact that it was like, oh, Britain were brilliant, and I can't remember the name of the chap that was supposedly, again air quotes, ended slavery.
Yeah.
It had way bigger problems than that, and it was literally because it stopped becoming economically viable. France pulled out. Yeah. Denmark pulled out of slavery way before the British did. Yeah. But we then.
Oh, I wasn't saying we were world leaders.
Well, France pulled out. Apparently, I mean, I'm paraphrasing here because I don't remember. You have to excuse me. I don't remember exactly what it was talked about because he goes into so much detail. France pulled out of owning Haiti, which now is like a third world nation. Back then, it was one of the richest colonies on the planet. It made France. They pulled out. We moved in, and then, forgive me, I'm not exactly sure what happened, but we slavery sort of started hitting a decline. There was slave revolts and things like that, and it started to become economically unviable. Then there was the biggest ever government bailout in history, up until the last financial crisis.
It's such
to give to slave owners.
Yeah.
Because they could no longer trade in slaves. It was like we were one of Britain. I didn't think we were. I thought it was America.
Huge.
Britain were the worst.
Yeah,
Britain were the worst in terms of slavery.
It's such a strange thing, isn't it? I mean, I know there's still modern slavery, but it's such a strange thing to think about now, of owning
a person. Yeah.
It's. I mean,
well, just apparently there was a boat that got caught in a storm.
It's so morally wrong to. I mean, this is, again, we're coming at it from somewhere so far removed from that problem.
I know.
But it seems so morally wrong to think I could own a person and pretty much do as I please with that person and get them to do whatever I tell them to do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's punishment.
And it was openly discussed.
It's so bad.
At the highest levels, openly discussed at the highest. I was just saying, there was a ship that was coming back. I can't remember where they were coming back from. And storms were so bad, they had to throw overboard about 30 of their slaves. And then when they got back to wherever they were, they wanted to claim on the insurance because they
lost their slaves.
They lost them. But then there was the big case that went to court. This is incredible when you think about it. The case that went to court is, can they actually claim because they've thrown them overboard themselves rather than lost at sea, sort of thing, like cargo lost at sea. And rather than, did they murder 30 people?
They killed 30 people.
You just think, fucking hell.
Talking, I mean, obviously, worked in insurance. This is a story that's gone round for years, and just a bit of levity to throw in there.
Let's get off this because it is pulling the thing down. But
whether it's true or not, it is a great story.
I think I know this story because this was a brilliant story.
Because I think when we both worked at the insurance company, this is one that our trainer told us, Simon, about the cigars. Are you thinking about that one?
Yeah.
So Ethan, I don't know if your dad's ever told you this.
No.
There was a gentleman that wanted to insure some quite expensive cigars, and he went around, phoned a few places and got them insured. He then, about a month or so later, phoned up to make a claim for them. Said they were destroyed by fire because they were insured all risks, so fire was included. and what he'd done is he'd smoked them himself, so they'd obviously gone up in flames, and thought he'd pulled one over on the insurance company. So the insurance company did an investigation, found out that he'd smoked them himself, and had him prosecuted for arson for burning his own possessions. Now, I have no idea if that is true, but I really, really hope it is, because I think that's...
I've seen that recently. It was on like Gogglebox or something that they were watching this insurance scam thing where this like doctor or something tried to scam insurance, saying he recently got robbed and all his like possessions were stolen, and it was a massive claim. And then they were like asking for photos of it and stuff, and he sent a photo of one of the items with the date on that was like 3 days after he said the robbery happened. So they were like straight away, well, we've caught you.
So insurance companies now, I mean, I've not done much in the way of claims during my insurance life, actually investigating or anything like that. But I know what does go on. Obviously, there's a lot of insurers now use like a voice system. It can tell whether you're
bullshitting.
Yeah, to a certain extent. So stress is in your voice and things like that. So when you phone through to the claim line, you're going through it.
But if you're anything like me, when you do that, because I've made a claim before, I feel that they're judging me.
Well, that's because they are. Yeah.
Even though it's a genuine claim.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm put on the spot.
But say, for example, and this is just one I saw that actually happened. Someone said that they were up on a ladder doing a bit of painting, knocked the paint can off the ladder, off their little step ladder inside in the living room.
Yeah.
It hit the back of the TV. Paint went all over the TV and down into the TV, and over the carpet and hit the sofa as well. So they investigated it by going to the house, looking at all the things. Obviously, all had paint on. They were like, "Fine, that's grand." Took measurements of the room and where everything was placed, and then recreated it.
You joke.
To see, and they ran it 10 times to see if it actually happened, or whether that person just poured paint over their stuff, checked the splatter patterns and everything.
But that can't. Surely they can't prove that.
What do you mean can't prove it?
Well, surely that it would fall in a different way.
That's why they did it a few times. And you've also got to think, you can tell with blood, like blood splatter experts, how something has been, where someone's been shot.
But that's bullshit. That I was listening to a podcast, and it was about these. It was these chaps that they work for, and again, forgive me, I can't remember the name, but it's one of these charities in America that tries to win cases for people that are on like death row and stuff like that.
The Innocence Project.
Innocence Project, that's it. And they were saying how much these are all absolute bullshit. So, bite mark technicians, things like that.
That
horseshit.
Yeah, no, that's really old kind of forensics.
But the blood splatter thing, bullshit as well. Did you ever watch the staircase?
Yes.
So they tried to recreate that.
Yes, but
all they did was go over and over and over the same thing until they managed to get the same blood splatter, and then that proves it.
Yeah, and then that bloke was found to be a liar.
Yeah, because it's all horseshit.
No, because he lied, not because it's horseshit.
Yeah, but
there are blood splatter experts that came in and said there's absolutely no way that piece of blood would have got into the bloke's shorts doing it in the method that he's doing it. There's no way.
But I don't know. But you can't recreate. You can't recreate with something like that. You can't recreate every single nuance of a room. You can't recreate exactly how much he was where he was standing, how he was kneeling, how high he was,
but
how low he was,
how
baggy his shorts were.
If you've got a step ladder, which is a standard height, 8 steps,
and
it's on the top, it's 8 steps high.
Yeah,
you can knock a can of paint off,
you can't,
and you know the relative distance between that. But this is why you run it for a certain amount of times.
But what if it bounced on the TV and then bounced onto the step ladder and then off the step ladder to a weird angle? Or he knew it was falling and he tried to step back to grab it until it kicked it by mistake?
No, they run it a number of times to see if it's even possible for it to come out like that.
I mean, I get that they probably did that and threw it out, but this is what these guys are saying.
But they don't just throw it out, and this is the reason they investigate it, and it might not be cost effective to investigate it. But if they investigate, say 1 in 10. And use the amount of investigation monies that would have been 10 on one case that they think is suspect, they then prosecute
for insurance fraud.
Absolutely, because
but that's the only piece of evidence they've got. Surely they'd never be able to prosecute someone.
You've got experts.
On that only piece of evidence.
Just tell us, did you get it?
Oh, I can't remember. It was a TV show.
You're crap giving us that.
Why?
You should have came with an answer.
Yes, but he got done.
I always see this.
He got done for insurance fraud.
You just made that up.
Yes.
We clearly didn't because you can't read.
I can't remember.
Well,
But
figure it out.
they also said
But I
with
can remember
arson
that
as
they
well,
recreated
a lot of these so-called arson specialists. A lot of that is horseshit as well. They're saying the scene after an arson is so derelict and so, like they say, oh, it's petrol that started it. What they don't know is that maybe something else started it, and there just happened to have been a petrol can in the garage, and that went up at the same time. And sniffer dogs can smell the pet, and they think, oh, it was. And it's like, so they were saying there was a woman that was on death row. She lost her 2 children in an arson that she was accused of doing, and they finally got her off. She had absolutely nothing to do with it. She'd lost her entire house, her 2 children, in a fire that was started by a faulty electrical appliance.
Yeah.
She was accused of arson because of some twats. Some guy wanted to make a name for himself and was like, yeah, it was definitely this, it was definitely that, trying to use these newfangled techniques, and just fuck that woman's life up. She went to prison for years.
But what I'm hearing from that and from the staircase one, it wasn't necessarily the blood spatter expert or the
people,
the industry of blood spatter or the.
But it should be a science.
It should be. But what you've got there is a man trying to make a name for himself and a blood spatter expert in the staircase that was just a fucking liar.
He was doing the same thing because he'd done that in a couple of cases, hadn't he?
There was so many blood spatter experts that all went, that's horseshit.
But then this is the whole point. If it's science, isn't it? They do say
this
is
why
some of the problem with science in court.
And this is the problem with exactly. This is the problem with science in court, because yes, you can bring a psychologist and say he's sane. I can bring a psychologist and say he's crazy.
Exactly.
Insane. That side of things. But when we're looking at insurance fraud, and this was just obviously a bit of a throwaway comment about it. Yeah. You can run it through, and you can see the most likely outcome, and you can base your decision on that.
But then you never know what's going to happen, don't you? It's like, because I've dropped a paint can before, I've done a very similar thing, and it's fallen and landed on its bottom and spilt nothing. Yeah. And you're like, and I was like, fucking hell, amazing. Whereas if you're a friend of ours, Luke, you stand in the paint and then walk it round the back bedroom, leaving paint footprints everywhere before realising you stood in it.
But what you've got to realise is, if you did that same thing, knocked it off of wherever you had it on, will it do that 100 times?
But it doesn't matter if it does it once out of 100 times.
But this is where you
people win the lottery, $1 billion to 1.
People do win the lottery, $1 billion to 1. But
it might,
or
but
a
it
free
might
ticket.
be.
But it's the odds that you're looking at there, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but I think.
But that's what I'm saying. If I ran it 100 times and the paint can landed on its bottom once, but the rest of the times it smashed on the TV and went all over, like the bloke said, then the chances are he's got a valid claim.
True, but I don't think you can make a claim based on.
Why would you do that anyway? Why would you just go around pouring paint?
Because you want a new TV, a new sofa, and you want a new
pay
carpet.
Your excess and get everything
Still
new.
paying it.
You pay in excess of £100, and you've got a new TV, a new sofa, and a new carpet.
Your insurance people replace it.
It wouldn't cost them that much, though, would it? To do all that investigating just to find out.
What?
Well, surely it cost them more to investigate.
Yeah, probably. But like Jim said, if it deters people, then they can prosecute.
You've got to get a
deterrent. But then if they find out that he was telling the truth, they've lost money both ways.
Yeah, that's
a risk you take, isn't it? But they'll only investigate things that they think might be
if they feel it's dodgy.
A bit dodgy, yeah. So this is where all that technology comes in, of the voice, from the calls, those sort of things, and that's why they ask you for receipts to make sure you have these things, and photos to make sure you have these things, because there's nothing saying you can't phone up an insurance company tomorrow and say, I'll insure my house or my contents, and say you've got all these fancy expensive things, and then a month later make a claim for them.
So I made a claim.
And you've got none of them.
I made a claim for the outhouse, our office outhouse, when the water pipe burst. Do you remember it when it burst at 2 o'clock in the morning?
Who fixed that for you? Was it Ethan, the plumber?
Well, Ethan was, fortunately, my plumber's son was staying with us that weekend. So at 2 o'clock in the morning, we went out and our old house, the lead pipe had broke. And what did you say, Ethan?
What was Ethan's recommendation on that one?
You better call a plumber.
Oh.
I'm not being funny, but it was 2 o'clock in the morning. I was knackered.
I mean, yeah.
We literally could not turn the water off.
Can you imagine getting one of those plumbers out from his bed at 2 o'clock in the morning?
Well, I fixed it. I stopped it leaking.
I stopped it. All we did was bend the pipe.
No. This was on the night that it happened. The night that it happened, I managed to hammer back on the valve, if you recall.
It didn't stop it, though. It was still leaking.
No, it didn't. It stopped it until I decided that we needed to put a new valve on. And then when we took the old valve off, the new valve didn't work properly. But anyway, I did that. Called out because obviously it flooded. There was water damage in the property, etc.
I don't do lead.
I don't do lead.
It's not a modern thing. You don't learn it anymore.
No, but the people still have lead houses. I've got one.
Lead
unfortunately.
houses?
Yeah, it's made of solid lead.
It's fucking heavy, isn't it?
It's massively heavy. It's made of solid lead. But
You've
if
got the
there's an
smallest amount of lead incoming. That was it. You barely get it anymore.
well, no,
It's
you
very
still
rare.
do though. You still around here do because these are old
I was
houses.
going to say all old houses will have lead.
Very rare still.
It is rare, but it's still there.
I'd know, Jim.
Anyway, like I said,
Alright.
we made a claim. The guy came, assessed it all. The floor was like slightly damaged for the laminate floor that was out there, and the walls. And so we're just claiming for that. Not a lot, just claiming for the new walls, new floor. Sorry, a bit of damage to the wall where we had to chip away to get to the pipe work and things like that. I had 3 calls from a claims company asking me so many questions, and then finally got to the point, and he was like, "Yeah, we've had a look at your," because I obviously run my own business, work from home in the office, but I also have a unit that I work out of. We've had a look on your website for your work for your company,
Yeah.
and it looks like you took a photo of something in the office to put on, because I sell gym equipment.
Yeah.
To put on for, put up for sale. I was like, yeah. I went, oh, okay. It's like, I said it was one thing. It was like one thing that I took a photo of because I happened to have it with me. I said, I have a unit. I gave them the address of the unit. I says, it's massive. I said, there's 17 tons worth of equipment in there.
Yeah.
You want to go and have a look at it? I says, just because I took a photo of something, they were desperately wanting to just say, because we don't, like I say, the office is literally used when I'm not up at the unit. I literally, it's an outhouse. You've been there. It's like a home office. I don't work out of this address. It's just a home office. But I think they were so desperate to want to prove that it was a business address,
You didn't have the right insurance.
because I didn't tick the fact that, regardless of the fact that a water pipe burst in my outhouse, it's got nothing to do with what I do for a living.
Yeah.
But they were so desperate, I think, to just find anything they could cling on to.
And that's why insurance has such a bad
Such a
name.
bad rep. Yeah.
But obviously, when you work in an industry that is abused, as much as insurance companies are, there are so many fraudulent claims. Even look at
it's the chicken and the egg, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're bastards because people take the piss.
Yeah, well,
people take the piss because they're bastards.
The problem with insurance, and this is always going to be, we're a service country now. We're not really a manufacturing country anymore. When you buy something, normally, so if you went out and bought a teapot, you would physically have a teapot in your hand.
Yeah.
When you purchase insurance, you're purchasing a promise.
Yeah, you're buying.
And you have nothing physical to have and to hold. And should you not need that promise at the end of it,
waste of money.
It's a waste of money.
You feel like you've wasted money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of people felt that. And there used to be this old thing that if you've not claimed on your house insurance at least once every 3 years, you should make a claim.
Yeah.
And that was a thing that was going round. And you're like, well, no, you can't just make fraudulent claims because you haven't claimed for a while.
Yeah.
And what they don't seem to understand, a lot of people don't seem to understand, is that when they're insuring something, and I do a lot of commercial insurance. So say, for example, public liability. They might be paying a premium as small as £170.
Do you have, Ethan? You have liability insurance. Your plumbing, what you covered up to? Do you know?
Yours are probably about 5 million, 2 million or 5 million.
3 million, I think.
What a weird figure.
You go in the middle.
Yeah.
I think.
It's normally 2 or 5, but say you had insurance for 5 million, and you needed to make a claim because you killed someone due to your ineptitude.
Yeah.
And they made a claim. The family made a claim against you. Your insurance company may pay up to £5 million for a £179 policy.
Yeah. It's a possibility.
It's a possibility that could happen. And to think, I've not made any claims for the last 3 years, so I'm going to claim on my house insurance is just a ridiculous thing to think.
Because that same insurer will be insuring people's houses, people's cars, people's businesses, people's fleets.
I mean, I've done a lot of personal lines insurance in the past, working at where was it? People's Choice. We worked.
People's Choice.
Yeah.
And Hastings Direct.
And then Hastings Direct. Yeah.
Popped up,
what we were always told there is the premiums of many pay for the claims of the few.
Yeah.
But what a lot of people should understand is that insurance companies, so the people that are actually backing these things, should there be floods across the entire UK, which there have been many times, those insurers, although they're doing your car insurance, are also insuring houses, farms, all those sort of things. So they're suffering massive losses because of floods. That's why your premium's going up the next year. Not because you haven't had I haven't had a claim this year. Doesn't matter. We paid out a lot of money. We're a business.
Yeah.
We're going to recoup some of our losses.
Yeah.
And that's just general insurance stuff. Sorry.
Yeah.
But I was just telling you a funny
How
story.
much this has all come on from that. Just talk about one person.
Yeah,
Marilyn
We
Manson.
haven't even talked about him.
What have you noticed? So we looked at Marilyn Manson. What have you noticed in the news, Ethan, or in life over the last
There's been some quite nice
5
things
days.
in the news recently.
Let's lighten the mood
Let's while you're thinking of
Either
one.
watch a video.
of what am I going to watch a video about.
No.
Is this one of those weird
it's quite a
videos
funny
that you
video that's recently happened with a
We're gonna have
parish
to.
council.
I don't know if we could. We
Used
might
to,
be
I
able
used
to
to,
show
I
it.
used to insure parish councils.
It's
Yeah,
the
we-
Sun.
Is it on the Sun? Is it on a news website?
It's a news website.
Okay, I think we can show that without getting kicked off
So we've
YouTube.
got this.
So Zoom
I'll
meeting
show you
goes
in a minute.
viral.
Yeah. And also some recent news. I don't know if any of you have been social media in or hearing about all these like influencers getting basically told off now for. They're basically all going Dubai over Christmas and stuff.
Yes, I saw.
and
Yeah,
showing
so
off.
many
One
people in
person do
Dubai.
that.
And a lot of people have been kicking off about it, but like a lot of Love Islanders.
Well, it's not just that. I mean, you've got people like golfers and not professional golfers, but people on YouTube
Well, yeah,
channels.
just a lot of influencers, they're
yeah.
so called now. That
You two-
all-
You two talk between yourselves. 1 second. I'm just going to go and get some tonic water.
Well, I might go and get a beer when you're back. Thank you.
So yeah, a lot of so-called like influencers have been like going to Dubai, showing off, basically saying, "Oh, look at me, I'm out."
I'm
doing
out in the
stuff."
sun. I can move about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm free.
And a lot of people have been getting quite annoyed about it. But there's one influencer called, don't know his full name, but he's basically called Dr. Alex, who went.
Oh
on,
yes, I remember
he went on
Dr.
Love
Alex.
Island.
Yes,
Yeah,
a real
and-
life doctor. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously he's working
Yes.
through the whole COVID thing
Yeah.
as a doctor, and he's recently just been appointed chairman of mental health, I do believe.
Oh wow.
He went to Downing Street, and Boris Johnson's appointed him as a mental health chairman.
And is he
Because his brother actually killed himself due to mental health.
issues? Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well.
he's become a mental health to try and help people. all through-
Ambassador
and he's
or
ambassador?
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. So a lot of people now have been like, "This is the person we need to look up to as an influencer."
it should have been absolutely all the way through.
Who's that?
He's a guy from Love Island.
Dr.
called-
Alex. He's
Dr.
an
Alex.
actual real life doctor.
He's a real life doctor who's been working all through. It's not on the computer, sorry. He's been working all through COVID,
Frontline staff.
in hospitals as a frontline staff, and now recently just been made ambassador for mental health for men and
Brilliant.
women. Yeah.
But yeah, I think with regards to all these people that are over in Dubai and
And a lot of people have just been saying, "Look, this guy is from Love Island. He's done what you're doing, and look what he's doing for
Yeah.
the world. This is someone we need to be."
But he
looking
was
up
doing
to."
that before.
But he was
went
always
on
a doctor,
Yeah,
isn't
he
he?
was doing
I know,
that
but
before.
I think
Yeah.
people are now realising that we shouldn't be looking up to these idiots.
No, I think the
People-
people
will
that
until the next one comes along. But you're right. I hate.
we
all
should
that
hold
shit.
we should hold these people to a higher, not to a higher, but to at least the same sort of standards that we hold ourselves to.
It's like when I don't know, when the first lockdown, Sam Smith came out saying it was like being in a prison.
Who's Sam Stewart? Oh, he's
The
a
singer.
singer.
But
Yeah.
everyone was like, "But you live in a massive mansion.
Yeah.
How is it like being in a prison for you? We've all got like
Because it's
small
still
houses."
it doesn't matter if your house is big or small. If you can't leave it,
I know, but you
it's
got
still
a
a
lot
prison.
you got a lot of criticism for that. For
Yeah,
saying
I know.
like,
Yeah. Do you think that then people like that are celebrities and things should, as hard, because mental health problems and things like that are the same regardless. It's like people seem to think that having money stops you from having issues, especially when it comes to things like mental health. That can get
sometimes
you
makes it
whatever.
a lot worse.
Sometimes you can make it worse. So, do people like that need to be mindful of somebody who's living on the 13th floor of an inner
I
city
think if you're an
council
influencer,
flat?
you definitely should. Just because people are looking.
What
up
if you're
to
Sam
you.
Smith though? He's not an influencer. He's just a singer.
I think he's still classed, wouldn't you? Think he's an influencer. Musicians are influencers.
I mean,
technically,
I think
aren't they?
well, to be fair,
They are now on social media, posting their life on social media all the time.
I don't think regardless of your status, whether you're classed as an influencer, you're a singer, you're a footballer, you should always be mindful of other people.
Yeah.
You should always be mindful. And yes, you can post whatever you like to a certain extent on YouTube and stuff like that.
Recently, there's been a footballer that's been charged for having a haircut and posting it on social media, like in the barbers. That came out, I think, yesterday. Actually,
Well, it's probably because
Barbers was he in?
I don't know. I think he went to his barber's
Well, you
house.
see, yeah,
and
he's
went in the
broke
garage,
COVID
and the
rules.
barbers actually came out and said he's not the only one.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
lot of footballers have been coming around getting their haircut.
So
like
they-
we said when we watched the Leicester game, like, why they all got fresh trims.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
well,
also
fresh new training
Rita
ground.
Ora, she
had a party for.
she offered to pay the venue £5,000 to open up for the evening, and then had a party.
Really? Why are they?
Also, talking about haircuts, there was this thing in the news
Wow.
recently. That
Talking
I-
about haircuts.
Yeah.
That's a segue I never thought
There
I'd
is
hear.
now a law saying if you look like you've had a fresh trim, they can detain you for 24 hours and question you.
Oh wow.
See, now that's really quite interesting. Obviously, I don't need to go
It's
to
like bald people are screwed.
Yeah, well, I don't need to go to a hairdresser because I cut my own hair being half bald.
But not only that.
I've also got a wife that is a hairdresser.
Exactly. So you could have had a fresh trim. Although you wouldn't necessarily get detained. You go, look, you've had a haircut. My wife is a hairdresser.
Yeah.
And they go, do you reckon she could do me a short back and sides?
Yeah, we'll detain you for 24 hours and we'll get everyone in it.
Yeah, no problem at all. Officer.
Yeah.
Video it, send it to the force.
Yeah.
Look at this prick.
Look at this nonce.
But yeah, enlighten
Why
him.
nonce?
I don't know. It's him.
That's his fault.
He just keeps. He's got
needs to
It's
stop.
like an earworm.
Nonces are funny.
He's got it.
It's
No,
a funny
they're not.
word. What
Nonces
do you
are
think?
not
What's
funny.
funnier, nonce or pedo as a word?
Nonce, defo.
Because it just slides off the tongue.
Yeah, it does.
Oh God.
And you can,
Oh, God.
if you throw it out there with a gruff sort of like
Nonce.
East London accent, you fucking nonce.
Yeah.
It sounds so much better.
We need to stop calling people nonces.
Yeah, we do.
We do
I
need to stop
yeah.
calling people nonsense.
But yeah, enlighten us. This
At
was
least
a
no one
recent-
takes Can anyone take offence to that?
Unless you're talking about Jimmy Savile.
Well, he is a nonce.
He's a nonce. Go Glitter.
They've recently brought out a documentary on him now,
Yeah,
haven't they?
yeah.
And,
I'm looking forward to watching
Have
that.
they? I've not.
Because
Because that would be good.
That
yeah,
man
like they've proper
is a
got like
creepy,
people
creepy
in
bastard.
on like watching his interviews and stuff and just
Yeah,
saying
again,
how did no one notice?
Checking his vocal levels, and like that pitch was a lot higher when he's talking
So I
about
seen
that
one
girl
clip where
and
like
stuff like that.
they're asked, one of the interviewers was asking him about his, like if he's had many girlfriends and stuff like that, and he brings out a banana just randomly during the interview and starts eating it, and that they're like saying that's just a sign of him trying to get past the question, because who brings a banana to an interview and just starts eating a banana?
He was just
Well,
one of them,
he
wasn't
said,
Quirky.
I don't
He's a
like
quirky
smart
guy.
girls. I like them dumb.
Oh yeah, no, he says he likes girls know too much. He doesn't.
Yeah,
He's all for
I
girls
don't-
that don't know too
don't-
much.
don't know-
That's
don't
why
know
he only
a
ever
lot.
dates girls for like 3 days. Because if they know too much, he doesn't like it.
That whole Operation U Tree.
Wow.
I mean, Jesus.
Mm.
So what?
And
That's-
that seems to have gone quietly.
That's
hasn't
our
it?
childhood, pretty much.
Yeah,
So many
yeah.
people from our childhood
But isn't that
got
isn't-
wrapped up
isn't
in
that
that U Tree thing, didn't
That's
it?
just it. I mean, forgive. I mean,
And
yes,
then
the,
obviously
the
innocent
nonsense side
people.
of it is slightly different, but isn't that just what everything is? You look at any documentary on politicians, any documentary on cult leaders, any documentary on
Yeah, why
celebrities
is
and
that
singers.
the thing?
Why is it always about
Nonsense.
not just nonsense, but just banging chicks?
Yeah.
That's all that it ever boils down to.
That's quite easy because what do blokes? What is the term say that blokes think about sex? What, every 6 seconds? So if
That's
that is
mad. So
if that
one of
is
us
Cock and balls.
we've got to
What?
think about it. Like we've thought about it throughout this whole
Boobies.
podcast. Then.
possibly so.
One of us at least.
Yeah,
Possibly.
subconsciously, perhaps, yeah. So if that is the case, it's not a surprise that most cult leaders are male and sleep with all the women. It's not surprising that if you get into a bit of power,
But that's
like
all
some
it's
people
about.
did,
That's all it seems to
they,
be about.
they
these
use
cults.
that power to sleep with women.
Yeah.
People that have a lot of money use that money to get women.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not surprising.
But usually young women.
Sometimes
It's never
They
older
nonsense.
ones, is it? You never get like.
Wayne Rooney.
Oh, that was quick.
But
Wayne
anyway, yeah.
Rooney.
Enlighten us. We are going to watch
Slamming Granny in the fanny.
this
Go.
video. This is a video.
Fist
that-
piss and anal.
This is a video that went viral, which is like a parish council Zoom meeting that just went.
I used to.
Is that old guy going to be tugging himself off in a minute?
Oh, it's just hilarious. I've watched it recently.
Do we listen in
but-
with volume?
Yeah.
No,
been told-
because we don't want.
I think because it's a news thing. I don't think we can get kicked off YouTube for it. So just bang it up, Peter.
Well,
we'll see
you're
what
going to have to
happens.
put one of your mics near it then, so everyone can hear it. Or
So
is it-
this is from The Sun on YouTube.
And let me also quote to you the standing orders of Hanforth. But will you stop talking?
Unless we are prepared
Will you please listen?
to go the same
Will you please listen? Will you stop being whatever it is you're trying to be and just clerk the meeting if that's what you want to do? We'll start the meeting, and I want to repeat what I said at the beginning of the last meeting, that this meeting has not been called according to the law. The law has been broken.
meeting has been properly
Will you
called
please let the chairman
Weaver, please.
to disrupt this meeting. I will have to remove you from it.
You can't.
Oh wow!
Jackie ain't playing.
It's only the chairman who can remove people from a meeting. You have no authority here, Jackie Weaver. No authority
Jackie's
at all.
been told. Jackie just removed
She's
him.
kicked him out.
Oh, Jackie cut him off.
No, she's
I
kicked him
hope
out.
Jackie
Don't.
is
She's
posting that
kicked him
video.
out. Don't.
This is a meeting called by two councillors.
Illegally.
They now elect a chairman.
No, they can't because the vice chair's here. I take charge.
Oh,
Read the
vice chair's
standing
here.
orders. Read them and understand them.
Let's check the constitution.
Dear me.
Appalling behaviour.
David Pink comes in.
Yeah,
now.
I'm going to subpoena everybody. Let's go.
Not
Roberto, could I ask you to be respectful to Jackie Weaver, please?
Jackie Weaver takes no.
He's loving it.
Elect a
I want to leave. Just you go and help them. She's kicked Barry out, so I'm leaving. No, Barry. No, Barry. Because
Barry's gone.
I'll stay. We're trying to have a Teams meeting, you fool. We're trying to have a Teams meeting, you fool. We can't even got that.
Basically having a go.
You just told us.
remaining members, quite correctly, have refused to recognise that that position. But as Councillor Smith says, I'm afraid there's no way of stopping him calling himself Clark.
Okay.
Please refer to me as Britney Spears from now on.
Well done, Jackie.
Nice. I don't get what she was trying to do there, but it sounds like what she did was illegal.
No, I
think this meeting's been.
I think she called a
in
meeting by two of the parish councillors.
Which isn't allowed.
Parish councillors called a meeting.
And he was the chairman, the old man at the beginning.
Yes, but he might have been at his end of his tenure. You just don't know. You'd have to check the constitution of the parish council.
Yeah.
See what it
well,
said.
you used to insure councils.
Yeah.
You used to do council insurance, but did you insure Jackie Weaver?
Honestly, what was the name of the council? And I'll say.
It doesn't
say.
say.
It doesn't
actually.
say.
It did. It said at the bottom of the video.
But she was taking no prisoners, was she?
No, she was like straight away removed.
Gap-tooth guy just got ejected quickest.
I think it says something like it began with H.
But I remember a friend of mine, Carl, is quantity surveyor, and I remember he had to take part in a parish council meeting once in Groby, because the Groby like parish hall, it's not church hall because it's not connected to the church. We know like community hall.
Yeah.
Also, they were looking at putting in a air conditioning unit.
Okay.
And it went round the houses and trees, and eventually he got called in to talk to them about it because it was going yes and no and yes and no, because it was an old building, but it wasn't a listed building. And he said he never in his life had so many like old people that have got nothing fucking better to do, that all they want to do is just kick off about fucking bollocks. And so that's literally what a lot of these parish councils are. It's just busybodies, fucking busybodies that never get anything done, and all they do is argue with each other.
Well, you know what the
Pathetic.
simple solution to that is?
Shoot them.
Run to be a councillor yourself. If you've got an issue with the way the council's run, put yourself up for nomination.
I don't take part in any of these.
I know,
meetings.
but you know,
But yes.
if someone, I mean,
Well, they tried to, and Jackie Weaver.
the reason that most council, I mean, there's only one paid person of a council, and that's the clerk.
Right.
The rest are volunteers.
Yeah.
So the only reason that the majority of councils are run by sort of the elder generation is because they have
Time on their hands.
they're retired normally, yeah.
Mm.
So that's the reason for it. Same with village halls.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
same thing.
all run by committee.
Yeah.
No, all volunteers. But yeah, if you don't like the way a council's running, put yourself up.
See, I was just looking at the news for like lightning stories, and this random thing just came up. A boy climbing a mountain carrying potatoes.
Good on him.
But why?
So by the looks of it, he did it during the first lockdown.
It's a sack of spuds. That's like a 15
Yeah, he
kilo sack of
literally
spuds.
carried a sack of spuds up a really steep hill, and then just carried on. In one
Like
week
Forrest
in
Gump.
May, he also tackled 2 other mountains and biked. Whatever that says, I think that's Welsh.
It is, yeah.
And ran
He ran the Ringos.
the Ringos for apparently just to
And carry these spuds
put
up this
himself in the
mountain.
shoes of people in hospital that can't see anyone or something. I don't know why that would help.
Right. Okay. I'll tell you what. Something that has been I told you about recently, John, which I think is a fantastic idea. There's a PGA Tour golfer pro called Rick Shields.
Yep.
And he's doing something called Carry 18 or something like that.
This is great. Yeah, this is good.
Obviously, all the golf courses around here and the rest of the UK are closed at the moment, pretty much. You're not allowed to go driving range or anything like that. And a lot of people use playing golf as a means of meeting up with friends and family and chatting.
Stress out eating balls.
Just it's basically it's a good bit of exercise. Not a massive amount of exercise, but it's
it's
about
just-
a 4
it's
mile
just
walk.
a
a gentle stroll, isn't it?
4
Yeah.
miles. An 18-hole course
About
is
4
4
miles,
miles. Plus
yeah.
you're standing all the way.
Well, if you play
if you
like
don't-
like I do, then it's more like 6. Zigzagging along.
Well, yeah.
But
Play like you do. Play like I do.
About 6 cans of beers and 12 packs of crisps.
no, I've
On the way.
got to drive later. The crisps is accurate. But yeah, he's decided that he's trying to. He's going to do each day. He took his clubs out and literally.
I think
walked,
he takes his clubs and
walked
walks his
walked
clubs
with
for
his
4
clubs.
miles. Yeah.
Yeah, for 4 miles.
And just tries to talk to people as he's going around, like
Yeah,
random
just
people.
chatting.
Not actually playing golf, just
Not actually
walking
playing
around.
golf. He's literally. He's not even walking around the golf course. He's literally just walking.
It's a mental health thing. His thing was like you go to the course and you end up just chatting. And
Chatting to
by
whether
that,
it's
you chat
your friends
away,
or you join another
problem.
3-ball or something or whatever it may be. You just chat and you get interactions, and obviously we're social animals.
It's just sort of like a podcast, but on the go.
No, he's not.
He does
I
do a
don't,
podcast,
I don't think
but-
he's necessarily filming every single time he goes out for a walk. I think he's just going out for a walk.
Oh, so he's not filming it.
He's filmed the first one, and it's like a.
It's a movement. It's like a
bit of
mental
yeah.
health movement.
It's like
Oh, so he's trying to get other people to
all you
just get
golfers
out
out
there
there,
and
Yes.
just go and do this, because you don't know who you're going to bump into. Obviously, you should always be masked up when you're talking to someone, but it's your exercise, so you're allowed
gimp
out for
masked
the day.
up.
No,
I've not seen anyone wear a gimp mask during lockdown.
You need to get onto
Actually, I've
onto the
seen
internet and
I
have a
did-
look at. No, have a
I've
look at
seen some of the sites that you look
no,
at.
have a look at
James.
Walmart. Those
I
Walmart
love the Walmart ones.
customers. Some
I
of
have
those are
seen
incredible.
I have seen a video recently of a man recording someone. He was recording a man. It was like a joke. It wasn't he was the joke, but he was recording someone, and it was this guy having a go at him for wearing a mask. He was like, "It's in COVID. You can't tell me what to do. I've got to wear this mask to protect me from not getting COVID." And the man's not wearing a mask. He's just having a go at him. And then he starts chasing him, and he turns the camera around, and he's just got a massive, like, scream mask on or something. But first you just think it's him having a go at him for wearing a mask, but it's the mask he's wearing.
Nice.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
But yeah, like mental health thing. Rick Shields doing his walks. I think that's a
I've
great
noticed
little
a lot of
movement.
people have come out now about mental health during this.
Well,
Well, a lot
it's-
more has come about it for mental health.
So
during
access
lockdown.
to stuff has obviously decreased because the NHS was just gearing up for a lot of COVID patients. So
Yeah.
a lot of procedures were put on hold. So that's just medical side of things. But a lot of people's psychiatrists, psychotherapists, they can't go to those meetings now. Really,
I mean, some of it can be done by Zoom, I suppose.
some of them can be, but that's obviously you're relying on.
Did you see in Japan that
Technology and
last
stuff like
month
that.
more people died of suicide than of COVID?
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised
Japan.
because
Japan's quite bad for suicide anyway.
Yeah.
The rate of suicide in Japan is
Yeah, don't
one
they
of
have
the highest.
that forest or something? Maybe?
Yeah, there's a forest just at the side, just at the foot of Mount Fuji where people tend to go and.
yeah, that's
It's
where
a
that's
very
one of those
sinister place, isn't
YouTubers
it?
went in and started filming into.
Oh yeah, I was going to say.
I've seen a few of them,
Logan
yeah.
Paul.
Oh, was it him?
Logan
Oh,
Paul, yeah,
God,
he
I
got
knew there was-
massively done for that. He
Yeah, I'm not
filled a
surprised.
dead body.
Defunded
Hanging.
their body, really.
And they
Yeah.
started laughing and stuff. But I think he weren't laughing. It was like it was a joke. I think that was
His
in
reaction.
his defence. That was just his reaction to actually seeing a dead body. He was like shocked.
It's bad, yeah.
He
There's
shouldn't be-
signs
But
as you
He
walk
should have
in
never
saying-
gone in and
should
recorded.
never gone in
something.
and recorded it.
Don't-
It's
yeah,
so
it's
bad.
bad. It is bad. But that's, I mean, mental health is such a.
I mean,
I
we've
think
got.
That's why a lot of people don't like the Paul brothers anymore, like
Yeah.
Jake Paul and Logan Paul, just because crap like that they do.
Yeah. Well, we've got a couple of friends that have things like anxiety, and I've got a
I
friend
suffer
that's
with
got-
anxiety, yeah.
Yeah, and bipolar. Got a friend
I've
that
not
has
got that.
bipolar, and he's been suffering quite bad through this because he's not got his regular access. Obviously, he used to go out and talk to people, and now he's in his own world, which is obviously his house and no further. So, I mean,
I think mental health is is the biggest problem that faces like people today. It's like people aren't dying anymore in their 60s and 70s of illnesses that they were dying from.
Yeah, the life expectancy has
living
gone
longer.
into the 70s, 80s, 90s.
And I think the pressure on life, the pressure on people nowadays is a lot different. I think with the media that's pushed into your face, especially with social media and the internet, I think mental health is becoming more and more, like, having a good mental health is becoming more and more prevalent. And I think it was always there. And I think it was one of those things that you go back to, like the people, it never used to happen. It always happened. People were always depressed. But
It's
people showed it in
amplified
different
now.
ways. People were,
Yeah.
how many alcoholics were there like back in
more
the...
people talk about it now. That's why.
No, it's
No
amplified
one
now
really ever
because
talks about
the,
it.
the access to seeing the results of it. So,
and
like
people
when-
are just open about it.
yeah, and bullying in school.
Yeah.
Bullying happened in school when we were kids. I mean,
Yeah.
I know you say you were bullied.
Yeah.
I was bullied. That happened when we were at school. But I don't think it happens to the extent it happens now because it's amplified because of
Social media.
social media.
Yes.
If you were getting bullied back at school, say you had the wrong kind
You've
of
got like
trainers on.
cyberbullying now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Open
If you had the wrong
bullying,
trainers
yeah.
on, then you get,
Yeah.
between the hours of 9 and 3, someone might take the piss out
Yeah.
of you. But now it's between the hours of 9 and 3, you get, face to face taking the piss out
Yeah.
of, and then it'd be from 3 till
People
midnight.
be WhatsApping you pictures of shit trainers.
Exactly. Yeah. Or you know,
Thanks for that, Ethan.
or setting up a Facebook page saying, you
John's
know,
got shit trainers.
yeah, John's got
Fuck's
shit
sake.
trainers or shit like that. I mean, I'm going to do that now.
They were bad. They were bad trainers.
Hey, I used to have some
But I
high-tech
do
silver
believe.
shadows.
I do believe.
They were beautiful.
I had some
I had
called
some-
Matchstick.
I had some Roccos. Oh yeah,
Rocco's are bad. I
Roccos are
had matchsticks, and I remember having to.
they were just your legs.
I remember with the fake air bubble, with the hard fake air bubble. I remember getting pulled out of class in PE, about 5 of us. The teacher literally walked along, looked at us all, pulled us all out into the middle. There was about 3 or 4 of us, 5 of us, out of about 80, and he made us rub our trainers on the floor of the gym, and they all left a black mark. And he went, "You need to get better trainers.
Wow.
Take them off, do bare feet, and go and sit down."
So that teacher basically humiliated you.
Humiliated.
And
me,
then all
yeah.
the kids went, it's
Yeah.
fine to take the piss out of him because the teacher's done it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
mental
mean, and he
health
shouted me
is a
down
massive
afterwards.
thing.
It was fine, but
Well, he tugged you off, yeah?
no, I took
You
him
took
off.
you took him off.
I took him off. Yeah.
Nonsense again.
With my soft 14-year-old hands.
No, willing he was, willing.
I wasn't willing. No, but I think mental health problems have always been there. I think people think that it's a new thing, and it wasn't. How many people were in like abusive relationships back in? Oh, no one ever talked about it.
There's no.
How many times were like young women and things sent off to convents or sent off to mental institutions because they were having breakdowns because their husbands. They lived in a patriarchal society where your husband is
gaslighted
literally
all the time.
yeah,
Well,
gaslighting.
now look with that
You've watched
visa, it's just come out. All them people. All them
you
women
watched
coming
Mad
out.
Men, where you've seen Mad Men.
Oh, I love Mad Men.
When Betty goes to the psychiatrist,
Yeah.
and the psychiatrist after each of her session rings
Phones the
John Hamm to
husband,
talk
yeah.
to him about what they were talking
Yeah.
about. That's standard practice.
Yeah.
It's like, and even he's suffering. You look at it, looking back, he's suffering from mental health issues
Yeah.
from his childhood. People seem to think that it's a new thing. It's not. It's just that it's open now, and people are willing to talk about it.
Yeah.
And that is a massively beneficial thing. I think it's such a positive thing.
Well, all it takes is for one person now can bring up a subject and put it on social media, and so many people will come together on that subject, and then
Yeah.
it will then like,
Well, you
blossom.
just need to look at comments and stuff.
Well,
Social
exactly,
media
but
now.
it can
People
just-
are so divided with what
But
they're saying. And
If you've got something that you're dealing with and you put it out on social media, you're going to get some people that are just arseholes about
you
it.
can literally do the nicest thing ever, and someone will still say.
But you will
why.
get a lot of people that then
Yeah.
come support you, and then that thing can like blossom into
You ever
something
suffered
else.
with mental health issues?
Yeah, I mean, not massively. I had a touch of depression a while back.
Yeah.
I got some medication for it, and I mean, I make light of it because was it real depression? I don't know. I felt a bit down.
If you felt depressed,
Yeah.
if you were struggling, then yeah.
But when I see other people that suffer with depression and see how it affects them, my depression didn't affect me anywhere near like that. And I know it's not.
Did they get medical help? Or?
Yeah. I mean, I got some
Some
tablets.
people though still think it's like a.
And 2-3 weeks later, I was, whether I had depression or whether I was just sad, who knows? But the doctor said it was depression.
Okay.
So I don't know.
What about you, Ethan, as a young man in today's society?
Yeah, a little bit now and then.
A little bit of what?
Just down or feel down and stuff.
Any particular reason? COVID.
What kind of down? When you say you feel down, in what respect?
Just like not wanting to leave my room and just stay in bed.
See, now, but is that?
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to sound nasty.
Laziness. Or something.
Is that just you being lazy,
No, I think I would go
Or-
out and do stuff. But
or is
You
that
physically
just
can't
you
bring yourself
physically
to
don't
get out of
want
bed.
you
Yeah,
don't
I know
want
how
to?
that feels.
Yeah,
That's-
I've had that. Yeah.
That's horrible. I get that all. I've had that for many, many, many years. I get it even now. I have the one thing that's helped me is like staying active. CBD oil does help me. I've
Yeah.
got a new CBD oil that I take.
Working out
And that-
apparently is
that-
fantastic for.
Yeah,
mental
I
health.
found like I started doing a bit of running. I'm so bad with it. This is the thing. It's like I do, like Ethan says, I go through fits and starts of being able to do stuff, and then like feeling like I just can't do it. But I have quite an active job at the moment, and I do a lot of stretching and stuff because of my back and sciatica and stuff. So
Yeah.
I do sort of try to sort of stay on top of it in that respect. But
You moved 17.5 tons not so long ago, didn't you?
so did you.
Out
So.
of the back of a trailer.
Yes, that was bad.
That was
Yeah,
that
that
was
was
a
bad.
fucking day. That was.
You know, that was heavy shit.
You need to get a forklift.
So how do we feel? That was
So,
good. Good
I-
chat.
I
we talked
honestly-
about everything and nothing there.
I think we talked. I was literally about to say. I think we've touched
It's
on
nice that we could do
absolutely
something
nothing and
without just a
everything.
topic to talk about.
Just a general chit chat.
But yeah, I think we will start a sort of general chit chat series. I think we'll carry on with topic series. So if you do want to see topics, then do let us know on our either Instagram, comments on Facebook, or we do have a Twitter.
Do we have a Facebook now?
We still don't have a Facebook.
Right.
Maybe We'll get onto that.
You can get onto that.
Yeah.
We're also continuing the series of educating Ethan. So if there's anything you think Ethan needs to watch, read, listen to, he is a young mind, and it's just
He's like a sponge.
He doesn't always listen
Don't try
to
and
me
make
'cause I'm
me
his
go
dad.
left.
It's not about being left. It's not about left or right. It's about understanding issues. When you understand issues, left and right don't exist.
But it's not-
you
it's
understand.
Keep me in the middle.
It's not just issues. We're talking about educating in regards to literature and things like that. So
But yeah,
I was going to say something, but I forgot what it was.
But yeah, I think we'll carry on a series where we generally just chit chat, and we'll carry on topic series. We'll do other stuff. We are just thinking of doing like challenges and stuff when lockdown's over. Like each of us doing our own hobbies and getting into that. We've also got.
What do you want to see us do?
Yeah.
Do you want to see us play golf? Do you want to see us go fishing?
We're gonna do like
Do you want
gaming
to see
stuff.
us oil up and wrestle?
What?
Swear to God.
What?
You are so wrong.
Honestly. But yeah, it's only well, it wasn't a short one, but it was short probably than a couple of other ones we've done before. But did you figure out what you wanted to say before we end?
Yeah, it was just in regards to topics. If you have got a topic,
the chocolate bar.
no, I'm never a massive fan.
What isn't a topic?
I think
Never had one.
isn't it like fruit and stuff, or is that a picnic?
Oh yeah, it's fruit.
Remember the Cadbury's Fuse? Ooh, you remember them.
But anyway,
Probably not.
if it is regarding topics, and you know Ethan, and you know what Ethan likes and what he doesn't like, can you suggest some topics? Because he keeps shooting down topics because he doesn't like it. So that would be great.
Just only MMA.
No,
I'm vegetarian. That was a crap
What's
idea.
wrong with it? Let's quickly discuss that. Why is vegetarianism wrong? Why don't you want to discuss
No,
it?
I just don't think because you can't be bothered to talk about it.
What do you think about veganism?
I think it's crap.
Tell me why.
Huh? Just
me why.
because I've always been brought up eating meat, so I don't think it's crap. I think it can be healthy for you and stuff, but I just don't agree with it myself. I'm sure Jim agrees with me there.
No, I don't mind. I've got a vegetarian wife who does
I know, but
eat vegan quite often.
So
I know, but you don't. You personally,
I mean, yeah, personally,
you always call him dirt person when he's eating vegetarian.
No, I call him
stuff.
dirt person for the types of foods he eats, like sweet corn, dirt.
So why don't you? So do you think that you fight against the veganism?
We've gone on to ending this podcast.
No, no, we're not going to end it because this is a
You can end it at any point. You've got the mouse. You can click the button.
I like talking about something that's real. Why? What do you think that you just fight against it because there is such that push, and you don't like being pushed left for some reason?
Do you consider veganism to be left?
No.
Right.
Do you?
Yeah. I think it's a really liberal
Yeah,
thing.
it's a
Yeah, I
very
think it's a
liberal
very
thing, yeah.
liberal thing because anything to do with the left, anything to do with the left is to do with being understanding of issues. It's to do with compassion. I always talk about compassion and understanding. I think the more liberal you are and the more left you are, you're dialed into those things, even though they don't affect you personally. Sometimes you're understanding of other people's issues. Whereas if you're not, if you're more right wing,
I just don't
you
feel like
give
it
a
should be
shit.
pushed on people like it is.
No, you're right. I don't think
I think
stuff.
it's not fair that
I don't
people
think
are
it-
going in butchers and stuff and protesting and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that side of things I think
You
is
don't see us going and protesting when they're like vegan shops or stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
I
why
think-
would you protest a vegan shop?
Huh?
Why would you protest a vegan shop?
Well, you wouldn't. But why would you protest a meat shop?
Well, why do you think you'd protest a meat
because they're
shop?
killing animals is why they're protesting.
You're killing plants.
But
they're
plants
living things
don't
are the
have
same
plants
thing.
don't true, but they don't have feelings.
Or central nervous
Like,
system.
they're
But
Yeah.
I still don't think it's fair. It's not fair.
But why?
Huh?
Why
Because
though?
it's pushing something on people that people clearly don't want to do.
So do you think the pushback, like your pushback,
It's
is
not
purely...
fair going into someone's business. Imagine someone came into your business saying some massive fat obese man came into your gym business
I went
saying,
in not long
"Do
ago.
not buy gym equipment. Just be fat."
But my gym
And not work out.
Okay, so there's two arguments to the veganism of these. There's the killing
There's
of
the
the animals.
animal side and
But
there's
then
the
there's-
health side.
There's three
Animals
then,
die all the time
because there's the health.
to natural causes anyway.
Some
From
of them
other
do.
animals eating other animals.
But
You don't see vegans.
we're not eating the animals that just die in natural causes. We're farming.
You've seen like the farming
Yeah, I
industry, haven't you?
understand
The
that.
animal farming industry. You've seen.
It does feel like now we're attacking Ethan.
Yeah.
No. I'm
And
Considering
we-
you
and-
all
and-
both
and
eat
neither of
meat,
us
we do
are
both eat-
vegan.
No, none of us do. But I eat I do eat more. I eat more vegetarian now over the last sort of 2 years, only because I've got with having an open mind. I've watched a lot of documentaries and listened to a lot of stuff about veganism. For me, I'm not bothered, and this is going to sound bad. I'm not bothered about the animal cruelty. I'm really not that fussed about it.
So animal cruelty or farming? Because animal cruelty is something completely different.
I think
Well,
if they're
well,
farmed
it's-
naturally,
the intent.
Well, it's not natural, but if they're farmed free range or whatever you call it.
Well, like,
what's
you're
wrong
eating
with
like a McDonald's chicken nugget. That's been like battery farmed dirt chicken. That's
I
genetically.
don't know if that's 100% accurate.
it? I don't think it is anymore. I don't
So,
think they'd be allowed.
I don't
It
know.
is. It is.
Oh, well,
So,
I don't know. We'll
is it-
say allegedly.
Can I point out another documentary you watched? I only watched it the other week actually.
Yeah.
Remember Super Size Me? The great
Yeah.
Morgan Spurlock.
Yes.
Did a sequel called
Yeah.
Super Size Me 2.
Okay.
I found it on something I was searching for the other day. That is all about. He sets up his own fast food restaurant with chicken
Okay.
fast food restaurant, and he tries to create like free range chicken fast food. It's very, very eye-opening, especially in America, about what constitutes free range,
Yes,
how
so-
the animals
yeah.
are created, how the animals are hatched, and how they
Yeah.
get brought along. And it's very, very, very.
But I will say that to
interesting.
say that some things. So, say McDonald's use battery hens. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But if America's definition of free range is a 3 foot by 3 foot enclosure that can have 10 things, if that's free range to America, that's what their regulators say.
Yeah.
Then they can put down its free range.
Of course they can, but that's not what people's assumption. of
People's
free
assumption
range
is it's a field and there's a couple
Yes.
of chickens running
Yes.
around.
So-
So that's a silly assumption to make, because if that was the case, the world would just be full of 4 or 5 chickens in each field, and there'd
I
be
don't
nowhere to
necessarily
live.
think so. I think when I think free range, that is what I think. I think that they are given space to run round. They can go outside. So
that's what you think with free
they're
range
allowed
eggs,
to go outside
because
if they want
they're
to,
never
that's it.
killed.
Yeah.
That's it. That makes them free range.
Yeah.
There's a space for them if they want to go
Yeah,
outside.
they have free range. They choose
Yeah, but the area they give them to go outside is
tiny.
2 foot by 3 foot.
Well, yeah, there you
the
go.
door open, so
Yeah.
they can literally it's like a Juliet balcony.
Yeah.
They can wander out onto that balcony and wander
And
back
have a look
again.
in.
But it's not just that. The just chickens themselves are genetically modified to be able to grow
Got
in
12
a
breasts.
stupid size, stupidly
joking.
quickly. Some of them don't because of their weird genetic issues. A lot of them die. So, yeah, we're not going off topic, I suppose. We're still talking about veganism generally, but I do believe that there's a lot of people that fight against it, like Ethan does, quite rightly so, because it is pushed on people. It is pushed on people a lot now, and people are very, very religious about it.
Yeah, it's very much a religious. You could put it akin to religion now.
Yeah, and
So whereas people used to go around knocking on doors saying become a Jehovah's Witness.
yeah,
You
now
now
it's,
getting
you've got to
literally
be-
in your
people
face
standing on a soapbox in the middle of the
you,
town.
see, you're very
yapping on about veganism.
You're very animated about how much you hate
Knock
that.
them in their head if they've got
Exactly.
on my face.
And that I
get
think
on
that's
my
really
neck.
upsetting, because what that does is that
No,
you
'cause it's not fair.
No, because
it doesn't
you're-
matter whatever it is. If someone got in my face having a go at me about something that I did, I would.
But they're not at the minute,
be
are
happy
they?
about
But
that.
you're getting
I know,
upset
but
on
you're
behalf
getting-
of a third party that you have no
because you
relationship
see it all
to.
the time.
yeah, but you're also
You
getting
see people.
But
going
you've got
in-
angry. But have you looked at both sides?
Huh?
Are you closed, or because someone has done something, you've
It
just
doesn't
gone
matter
no?
what both sides. You shouldn't go in someone else's business protesting.
But well,
like how they do.
people because
Right, hang on.
you're not
no,
a butcher.
Well, hang on, because I will say then, if it's not an issue thing for you. So in the program we were talking about earlier, Bowling for Columbine, Michael Moore took 2 of the victims of Columbine into Walmart
Yeah.
because that's where the bullets were purchased
Yeah.
for the gun. Do you think that's a bad thing? They went in there and basically protested Walmart for
They
selling.
did they though?
For
Did
selling.
they go in there screaming? Go,
Yeah,
like
they
not
weren't.
guns blazing,
They weren't
which
happy.
sounds wrong.
Wow.
wrong.
Choice of words.
Expression, choice
Yeah,
of words.
one of the lads was in. I think he was in a wheelchair when, if I remember correctly, he'd been crippled for life.
But this is with
But that's different. That's affected their lives completely.
So, how is it not affecting
Veganism
vegans?
is not affecting their lives by us eating meat. Surely.
Why?
It's
As
not
long as-
affecting
as
their
long as-
lives, no.
Exactly. You know. as
But it's
long as-
affecting the
No.
planet.
When you say their lives, as an individual, it's not, but as a planet, it is, and it's affecting all of us.
Well, I don't know why you two are having a go at me. You both eat
I'm
meat,
not-
especially you. of
I
all
eat meat,
people.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm not having a go at you. I just don't want you to be so close-minded on these things.
I'm not closed-minded.
Yes, that's
I
the
do
thing.
understand why they're doing it. I don't think
you're
it's fair
very-
that they're
you're-
doing it.
Okay, forget the
So forget the protesting side
yeah,
of things.
forget the process things. You generally, without people, because I don't. Has anybody shouted in your face about being a vegan?
No, but you see
Of
it
being a
all the
vegetarian?
time.
Who's yeah? You don't see it. It's not in your face. You're looking at it you're looking at other people getting shouted at. So forget the other people, because I've never been had people shouted in my face about being vegan or being vegetarian. I've watched a few documentaries about it, but you've always laughed it off, and you've always said, "Oh, it's a load of rubbish, bro, bro. Oh, where's the meat?
I didn't
Where's
want
the
to
meat?"
talk about this
When you,
topic for it.
I know, but when you come
just
come
used it
round
to
and
talk
we've
about
got
it.
a vegetarian meal,
Hijacked.
I know. Hijack the end of the podcast to talk about veganism.
because it's an important topic.
It isn't.
People want to know about these important topics. They want to be able to see, like, we're slightly different generations, to see how young people like think.
Yeah, and they'd be surprised because they'd probably think I was all left and all
It's not. I don't think
vegan
it's
and
necessarily
hippie
left and right. I think it's
indie clothes and long hair, smoking cannabis,
how dare you, sir?
thinking I'm saving the world,
Well, isn't
doing art.
isn't veganism almost trying to do the right thing in terms of saving the world?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
If you think of how intensively things are farmed, and there's a lot of studies to show that intensive food that it is unsustainable. So if you look at it purely from an ecological perspective, or
It requires more.
yeah, I've seen the documentaries.
It
You've
requires
showed me
more
them many
space
times. I know the
to
facts.
farm
show-
animals than it would to plant crops.
I know. I've seen.
There's
I
a
know
lot
the
of
facts
arguments
and
to say
stuff.
that
I
it
just
is.
don't agree with it. I don't know.
how do you not agree with the facts though? That
Yeah, I agree that it probably is better off for the world.
But you just don't give a fuck.
No, I don't. To be
Okay,
honest.
well,
That's
that's
my
fine.
easy way of saying it. I don't.
But the only reason
To stop
that
your
is-
argument now, I don't care.
But the only reason that is just the only reason that's what annoys me, and that's why everybody was trying to educate Ethan.
That's why you should get annoyed
Yeah, but this
because I don't care.
no, it's not that you don't care.
No matter what you say, I will never care.
Exactly, but it's
And I'll
because
carry on
it's
eating
because
meat.
you have this closed-minded attitude. You
It's
don't
not,
want to
I just
learn.
don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
I have learned, and I watched the documentaries, and I understood it. I just don't care.
So you don't. So what? So why should people care about something that you find it? What do you find
I don't
What do you
expect.
find
That's the
important?
thing. I don't expect people to
And I think
care
well,
about what I care
based
about.
on that.
at all?
No.
So nobody should care about anything to do with anybody else. Nobody
If
should.
I've never gone into someone and said you need to care about this because I do.
What if you had
'cause I'm not
children?
bothered.
So you don't. If you had children,
Mhm.
you don't care that potentially the planet could be in a worse state than it is in 30, 40 years' time. You couldn't give two shits. You are that selfish.
But I think there's
that you
more
don't
other things
care
we could
about-
do about than try to change something that
How
as massive as
Okay,
eating
so
meat.
there's more things that we could do. There's more important things that we could do than for you.
You're talking to the wrong person.
No,
there
hold on,
about
hold
stuff
on, hold
like
on.
this,
So
'cause
there's more important things, there's easier things that we can be done than for you to say 2 or 3 days a week you just don't have any meat.
But it's not up to me either. at the
Yes, it
minute.
is.
Not
Yes,
at
it
the
is.
minute because I don't buy my own food or cook my own dinners.
20.
I know, but I don't.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what if you did? What if for two or 3 days a week, or you pushed that into your house and said, look, for 2 or 3 days a week, let's not have any meat. It's cheaper. It's easier. You're saying that it's like there's other things to worry about. That's one thing that everybody could do. In the same way that let's say people talk
Yeah,
about
everyone
wasting
can do, but
water,
doesn't, so
but people do. I do it. Jim does it.
I don't eat meat every day.
yeah, but you
Lots of
probably-
people. Ronnie doesn't do
Not
it.
everyone
Ronnie
eats meat.
doesn't.
I don't think everyone eats meat every day. I don't.
Yeah, I bet you do. Did you have meat today?
Huh?
Did you have meat today?
Did you have meat today? Who thought that
Yeah,
would be
Did
on
you
the
have
budget?
meat yesterday?
I had meat today.
Did you have meat today?
I had meat today. Yeah, I did have meat yesterday.
I had pasta.
And with what?
Huh?
With what?
Meatballs.
Pesto
And?
pasta. That's
And?
it.
That's all you ate yesterday.
And
And KFC.
and KFC.
Oh no, yeah, I had KFC.
I think
I had
you-
KFC
I-
yesterday, the day before I had
I
pasta.
reckon you
pesto
have,
pasta.
and that's all you ate all day.
Yeah.
You didn't have a ham sandwich.
No, I don't eat lunch anymore.
So you ate one meal all day.
Yeah.
No breakfast.
No, I don't eat breakfast or
Oh,
lunch
wow.
at the minute.
You know that's not really healthy for you.
I
is
know
it?
it's not,
Yeah, you
but-
need to change that. We're going to go on. We're going to
I
do a
don't know, I'm
podcast
afraid.
on diet because that is going to be a hilarious topic for me.
It is.
We're going to
Yeah,
close
we're
this
gonna
one.
end
We're
this
going to
now
close
because
this one
this is
because
getting too
we'll
intense.
continue
It's
this
not
being- you're
this
getting
chat
annoyed.
off.
I'm not being annoyed. You're the one.
You just said you're getting upset and annoyed.
Did I?
I don't know.
I don't think I did.
We'll have to listen to it back.
I don't think I
We'll have
said
to
I
check
was
the
getting
tape on
annoyed.
that
You
one.
said it's upset you 'cause
I
I'm
said
so
I don't
close-minded.
like it when you get, because what happens is you get a really important issue that people like that is really important, and rather than listening to the issue and say it and thinking maybe there's something I can do as a human being on this planet that we all share, maybe there's something I could do, even though it's only little, but I could do my little part the same as everybody else, just to change one little thing. You don't want to do it simply because somebody's pointing out to you that you might be doing something you could potentially do a little bit better, and that's all it is. It's that. It's,
Yeah, no, I probably
it's-
could. But
Yeah, exactly. It's that you'd rather cut your nose off to spite somebody else than just do
it's not
that
to
thing.
spite someone else.
It is.
because I like eating meat,
I like eating meat.
but that's your choice not to.
I
love eating
think,
steak.
I
You
think,
you can't
John.
force, like you're doing, try to
yeah,
force.
I'm not forcing.
what I
you.
said
I'm not
I hate.
forcing you. I just would like you to be a bit more open-minded.
I am open-minded.
I think, based on what the young lad has said, he's watched the documentaries, he understands it, he's chose his side.
Yeah, you're right.
So
yeah, he has.
he's taken in the information, and he said, I don't care. That's his view. You trying to then change it is doing exactly what he was saying he doesn't like people doing.
Well, there we are.
Yeah.
So there we go, everybody. Ethan doesn't care, so don't ask Ethan for any help. Don't
Oh,
don't ask him
no,
for anything.
now you
'cause
make-
guess what?
now-
He doesn't care
Now
about
you're
you.
being mean
Yeah.
to your own son. Back off.
We see how it is.
It's just true, isn't it? You don't
No.
care.
I don't care about meat, or not meat, but that.
But that's
side
just
of
one
things.
issue. That's just one issue.
But yeah, that's the only issue we're
Exactly,
talking about,
yeah.
and he says he don't care. And that's his choice. He can not care about it. At the end of the day, we're going to be dead in the ground in a lot earlier than him. And he's going to have
Exactly.
kids and grandkids coming along, and they're the ones that will be suffering, mainly because of the generation that we are and the one
Yeah, it's
before
your
and the one
fault
before.
anyway.
But you've got a chance.
I'm doing my best.
You've got a chance to
Trying.
remedy it
But
going
did your
forward.
Parents or
No, they were
grandparents-
shit at it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They were shit, but I've tried to convince them to do stuff here and there.
Do
I don't
they?
think- You can do Gran did when she stayed with us, and she's
Only because you were cooking her food.
no, and when she's gone home, she has taken that on board. I don't think she necessarily does it all the
I
time.
doubt
But
it.
a lot.
Probably not.
I mean, there's the adage that you can't teach an old dog new tricks, and that is very.
He's
apt for-
19.
No, we're talking about the older generations,
The older
our
generation.
parents and
Yes,
stuff like
that's
that.
true, yeah.
Look at racist terms, for example.
Yes.
Grandparents, great grandparents, awful with that sort of stuff.
Yeah. They're
'Cause
of
they
a
grew-
generation
they
where
grew up
saying
with love
say
thy neighbour and
coloured
stuff like that,
was a thing. And to be fair, I know people that still say it now because they do think that it's the thing you can say.
Yeah, because they think that's being politically correct.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's
But,
just that that things change.
yeah.
And what was it? Rachel said that Dolly Parton had the best saying. She said, "If somebody says I don't like that, why would you still use it?
Yeah.
Why would you say I'm still going to say it? Because if it upsets somebody, then why would you say it? Why would you go out of your way
to hurt someone?
to hurt someone's feelings when you can just say something different?
But anyway, yeah, this
Transgender
podcast
stuff.
should have ended about half hour ago. But,
So should
It's
you.
good. It's good. It's interesting.
We hope
If you'd
you-
like to chime in on any of these topics, if you'd like to message, if you'd like to send any comments,
If you'd
on-
like to throw a bag of
Anything.
blood at Ethan's door, we can post the address in the comments.
yeah, some hooves or some offal.
Yeah.
bother
If
me,
you'd
my
like to
dog would just
protest
have it.
Ethan, we'll put up some details for you to do so.
But yeah, if you enjoyed, please do like, subscribe, and hit the notification button just so you never miss any of our shows again. We'll probably definitely do more stuff like this. Whether I don't know what I was going to say then.
Whether you let your dad talk.
No, I was going to say I don't know if Ronnie will join in with stuff like this. Just
Yeah, I
because
think, you think he probably would.
Ronnie's very
Yeah.
good on he loves stuff like this.
We're also thinking of having some guests, but not guests, but
it's more friend guests
friend
at the moment.
guests.
Yeah,
join
I've had a lot
in.
of people asking if they
Yeah,
can join in
and
and stuff.
who have you had that's asked?
Hayden wants to come on.
What does he want to talk about?
Who's Hayden?
Pokemon.
He wants to talk about Pokemon.
Who's
Wants to-
Hayden?
My cousin.
Okay.
Cousin Hayden. Okay.
I think Alyssa wants to come on, doesn't she?
What does she want to talk
Oh,
about?
we'll have Alyssa on.
Luke's been asking to come on a lot.
Yeah. What does he want to talk about?
I don't
History.
actually know.
Is it
yet.
Vikings?
History.
Is it his Vikings?
I think he said he wanted to join in on a zombie thing that we said we'd do.
Oh yeah. So we want to do a podcast based on a
Zombie apocalypse.
fictitious zombie apocalypse.
It'd
I
be
think
a
that's
long
going to be
one,
the
I
next
think,
one. I think
that-
that's going to be the next
I
one.
think, yeah, we're going to need scenarios.
love
What
to
would
do
we
that
do in
one.
certain scenarios? What
Yeah.
kind of
If
weapons
you want to
we're
give
going
us
to
some
choose?
scenarios,
Please,
that'd be good.
yeah,
But if you
chip in and
don't,
give
we'll
us
have to
some
make
shit.
them up ourselves.
And let's face it, we don't care. Right.
Yeah, we're going to talk
But
about
yeah.
shit anyway. So
All right, guys.
Fuck you all.
We'll see
No,
you
no,
later.
not fuck you all. Love you all. Bye.
See ya.
Big kiss.